If you go to Senegal, things are happening. It's checkmate between Ousmane Sonko and of course, President Faye. Remember, these two individuals were the best of friends when the Ousmane Sonko is expected now to assume his presidency of National Assembly of Senegal, where his PASTEF, party commands a strong majority in a direct challenge to President Bassirou Diomaye Faye. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that Sonko could not run for presidency and was bad, and that's why Sonko supported Bassirou Diomaye, and now they have fallen out. Remember, Bassirou became the president, and Sonko became what? Became the PM. Yeah, and on Friday, or as usual, Sonko was fired as the Prime Minister of Senegal, and this is becoming a major fight in that country because Sonko has a lot of support. Remember, initially he was supposed to run for the presidency, and now it seems he still controls most of the parliament, although it's dissolved, and it seems that now the daggers are out because this one reminds me. The fight between now Sonko and Faye reminds me of the proverbial if you've read that book, the Kilkenny cat fight, where they fought until their tails remained hanging on the line. So it will be something like that because Elik Malik, the move further complicates reform efforts by Faye, who sacked Sonko on Friday after months of growing tension between the two men who once campaigned side by side as symbols of anti-establishment change in Senegal. Now, Faye must nominate another prime minister to replace Sonko, but that nominee will still need approval from National Assembly dominated by Sonko's allies. So, 3 months of nomination. At the same time, President Faye cannot dissolve parliament until November, 2 years after the last parliamentary election, limiting his room for political maneuvering. So, to make matters even worse and more explosive, a reform of the electoral code approved by Parliament now can make Sonko eligible to run for presidency himself. The balance of power in Senegal is shifting rapidly. Faye may hold the presidency, but Sonko is positioning himself to control the political machinery. Parliament, party, structure, and potential the future president race itself. So it means that the President of National Assembly is elected by members of Parliament themselves, and the deputies of National Assembly vote to choose the parliamentary leader. In Senegal, current situation is if Ousmane Sonko becomes President of National Assembly, while Bassirou Diomaye Faye remains President of the country, Senegal could effectively end up with two competing centers of power inside the same ruling movement. I'm telling you, this is even getting worse because and if they dissolve the parliament, it means that Senegal constitution, the president has the power to dissolve the National Assembly of Senegal, but there are constitution limits and procedures that must be followed. The main requirements are the president must consult the prime minister and the president of the National Assembly. That means Bassirou Diomaye Faye must consult because for sure Sonko will be elected the president of the National Assembly, and that will come into a stalemate again. The consultation is required before issuing the decree of dissolution. So Parliament cannot be dissolved during its first 2 years. That's another difficult thing in Senegal. So now they are in a quagmire because Article 87 of their constitution explicitly states that the dissolution may not intervene during the first 2 years of legislature.